Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Spirit Goddess Spreading Awareness. We are on episode 9. It feels like it's been forever. It is summertime, so I took a week vacation, went back home, spent some time with family, and just getting back into the swing of things. So tonight's episode is going to be PTSD and the different types. So define PTSD. What is it? A disorder that develops in some people who have experienced a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. It is natural to feel afraid during and after a traumatic situation. Fear is a part of the body's fight or flight response, which helps us avoid or respond to potential dangers. So now I'm going to jump into what are some signs and symptoms of PTSD. Vivid flashbacks, feeling like the trauma is happening again right now, intrusive thoughts or images, nightmares, intense distress at real or symbolic reminders of the trauma, physical sensations such as pain, sweating, nausea, or trembling, avoidance, memory loss, anger or irritability, or a loss of interest. Symptoms of PTSD are intrusive and can impact someone's life significantly. PTSD is not limited to one presentation, as PTSD comes in other types, including uncomplicated, complex, dissociative, and comorbid, 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 PTSD. Uncomplicated. What is it? Uncomplicated is linked to one major traumatic event versus multiple events, and it is the easiest form of PTSD to treat. Complex PTSD, or CPTSD, is a condition where you experience some symptoms of PTSD along with some additional symptoms, such as difficulty controlling your emotions, feeling very angry or distrustful towards the world. Dissociative PTSD. Recent research evaluating the relationship between PTSD and association has suggested that there is a dissociative subtype of PTSD defined primarily by symptoms of derealization. Example, feeling as if the world is not real. And depersonalization, as in feeling as if yourself is not real. Comorbid PTSD. When a person has more than one mental health concern and or a substance use disorder. It is highly common as many people suffer more than one condition at a time. Triggers. Seeing a person, thing, or place related to the trauma can trigger a reaction. Likewise, seeing a similar trauma on the news or in a movie can set off symptoms, thoughts, feelings, emotions, scents, situations, sounds, and taste can all trigger PTSD again. Reaction. Traumatic memories, avoiding people or things that remind you of the situation or event, not being able to sleep, and feeling anxious. It can cause changes in one's thinking and mood, giving you upsetting dreams, flashbacks, and feeling hopelessness. How can we help somebody that is having a reaction or that is triggered? Don't pressure them to talk. Let them go at their pace. They will talk to you in their time. Don't pressure the situation. Allow them to be upset. Everyone has their feelings. All feelings are valid. So allow them to be upset about the situation and process their feelings. Tell them, I see you're in pain and it's okay to feel this way. Remind them that they are not alone. Treatment. Therapy, cognitive processing therapy, prolonged exposure therapy, stress isolation training, medications, and most importantly, a support system. There is a National Center for PTSD. It is called SAMHSA. I'll say that again, SAMHSA. You can call or text them at 988-24/7-365. There's also a phone number. It is 1-866-210-1303. The National Hope Line Network is 800-442-HOPE, HOPE, or 4673. If there's anyone that wants to come up into the boxes, and if you have any more facts or things that you know about that you want to discuss, are there any situations that you may have been through or someone in your life may have been through that you would like to come up and discuss? Right now is your opportunity to do that. The boxes are completely open for anyone and everyone. It is recorded for the podcast, so people do listen. You do not have to show your face. You do not have to say your name or say who you are. Hello. Hi, sweetheart. How are you today?
So should I talk about how I got my PTSD? Because I definitely know that I have it. Like, my issues have issues.
Yeah, absolutely. You can talk about, your feelings about it, how you may cope with it, how you found out you had it, anything that you want to share.
I realized that I had it when I moved to the apartment I am in now, and I started all over. I could not take a shred of furniture from my old apartment with me because they held such horrific memories.
Okay.
I was in an abusive marriage for 8 years. I got married a month before my mom passed away, and I found her deceased in her apartment. Me and my brothers, I have two brothers and one sister. We don't talk. We have not talked since I found my mother deceased. That's a whole nother long story, but so basically this man kind of started to trap a representative that I met because he knew he had me. Like, he knew he had isolated me. Friends that would call to check on me were being hung up on or told that I wasn't there. It got so bad that I couldn't even go across the street to the corner grocery store without him watching me outside of the window. Like, things were really bad. And, I know that my daughter also has a form of it as well. And I struggle with that every day. Like, that is part of my PTSD. I struggle with the fact that I used to date before I got married, and I never brought anyone around my child. And it destroys me that the person that I married and chose to bring into her life turned out to be a monster.
I understand that fully. Some of you are already aware that my daughter's father unalived himself in 2016, and my ex-husband was the exact same way. So she didn't have anybody after her father but him. The day we got married, she started to call him dad, and then he tore our whole family apart. He cheated. He relapsed on drugs. It was just the worst of the worst. So I absolutely get where you're coming from with that. I feel you on that 100%.
Yeah, and just and it's so weird because just when you think you're healed for something, just reliving it now, I feel a release because I thought I was healed, and I'm glad I'm still in therapy because clearly I'm not.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is a lot of us think that. We think that we've been, through so much therapy or so much of, abuse, whatever it is that we've been through individually. But we think sometimes like we're through it, or we've been through this situation, it's done, I'm over it. And sometimes we're truly not. And we don't understand that until we dig deep and figure out what it is.
Yeah, that's honestly what's happening right now. Like, I knew it always bothered me, like, the thing about my daughter. Like, I would tell people, I told, like, friends that were really friends that, after I got out of that situation and I called them, like, they accepted me wholeheartedly. And then I lost many people who I thought were friends that were like, how could you take that for so long? Like, you would just end it. You just call the cops and
see, yeah, and those aren't friends. They're supposed to be there to support you.
Exactly.
True friends would have been there and supported you. But I do want to say to you, like, don't. And I know you're in therapy and stuff, and it's going to take a lot more than just somebody saying it to you, but coming from another mother that's been and feels the same way that you do about that situation, like, I chose him. She's the one that I chose for her to call dad. Like, she chose to call him that, but I'm the one that put him in her life. So coming from one mom that's been there to another, I just want to say to you, don't put blame or guilt on yourself, because their manipulation, their narcissism, the PTSD, the stuff that they put us through, we didn't ask for. We didn't ask for that. There's no way that you could have seen it coming. I used to beat myself up about it too until I came into my beliefs. I don't like to call it faith, but I'm Wiccan. A lot of people know that. And when I came into my beliefs and started to do a lot of self-healing, that's where it started. You have to start within. You have to heal yourself before you can start to heal anything out in the outside world or other relationships. When it comes to anything, you have to love yourself and be healed within to be able to move forward in any situation.
So saying that, I know I'm a good person. That much I do know. I feel like I've taken the time to fall in love with myself, but I'm also very guarded. Like, I don't think I will ever be in another relationship. And a lot of people find it weird that I'm okay with that. And they tell me that I'm self-sabotaging, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I built my wall pretty strong. Stop trying to tear my bricks out.
Right.
I'm comfortable with my bricks.
And you know what? If that's the way you want to be, then that's the way you want to be. Nobody has the right to tell you how you're comfortable or how you should live. It's just not right. A lot of people have thought the same about me. I've stayed single for the last 2 years. Literally, I've been celibate. I have not been with anybody. And that's the way I choose to be. I want it that way. It's not because I can't get somebody. There's all kinds of people out in this world. It is because I choose that. I like my sanity. I like my peace. I like that it's, I can do whatever I want. I have nobody to answer to. If I'm going to get in my car tomorrow and go somewhere, I can do it. I don't have somebody to, talk about the bills and kid stuff with sometimes. And does it suck? Yeah, because I'm still raising a child, so it sucks sometimes that I don't get that, little bit of break or have somebody to confide in when it comes to that. But you know what? You did a fucking amazing job. Your daughter is amazing. You are a wonderful mother, and you should not don't hold that against yourself, honey. Do not.
I really appreciate that, and you are not the first person to tell me that. And maybe it's time for me to start talking about this more. And when I do go to therapy, there was a time when, like, my therapist that I had been with for many, many years retired. So I've just found one that I feel like can really relate to me, and we talk. She's also a woman. Not that sex makes any difference,
right.
But I just, sometimes feel that women do get women better on the emotional end of things. And
I think we've all seen that too, where mental health, it's really hard to get help for mental health right now. I think a lot of people have seen that. Even in 2016, when my daughter lost her father, it took me a long time, like months, to get her in to see somebody. And I think that is ridiculous. Also, I saw somebody for, I think it was going on 4 years, and then all of a sudden it was just, oh, she's up and gone, you're with somebody new. And I think that is so ridiculous how many times I've had to start over and tell my story every time somebody decides to leave and come back. And that's not our fault. That's a failure in the system's fault.
I totally agree. And I've been there. I've been there because you know what it is? These doctors are completing their residency.
Yep.
And once they're done, they move on and start private practices. And if you're not rolling in dough like that, like you said, oh, they're gone. Here's your new therapist. And I've had some multiple times, like, go to administration or the head of the department and just clearly say, like, I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't feel that they're listening to me. I don't feel that they're understanding where I'm coming from. Like, I do not feel comfortable.
I'm not going to throw my kid's age out there, but she's underage and under 16. And do you know that in this last year, she has saw the same psychiatrist? Because I have her in therapy. Her dad unalived himself. You know, we have mental health issues in the family, so I'm going to take precaution and I'm going to keep her in therapy. But within the last year, she actually came to me and told me that exact thing, and actually told her therapist that she felt like she wasn't helping her anymore. That's awful. That is awful.
Horrible. It's horrible, but I've always been the type to speak up. So it's like, okay, if this person isn't listening, who's their boss?
Right.
If you're not listening, who's your boss?
Right.
Everybody has a boss.
At the same time, it's horrible that she has to say something like that after seeing somebody for so long. It's really good, and I'm proud of her at the fact that she could speak up and say, like, you're not helping me anymore. I need to move forward.
Yes, I agree, but it is, again, like you said, it's even sad that we have to go through that. Like you said, it is a failure of the system. I totally agree. Thank you for letting me share my little snippet of my story, and
absolutely,
I will drop and give somebody else a chance to speak.
Thank you for coming up, sweetheart. I appreciate you.
Of course.
If anybody does want to come up, I am recording for the podcast. We are talking about PTSD. You can come in the box. You do not have to turn your camera on. You do not have to say your name or who you are at all. I will not call you by name. But if you want to come up in the box and discuss maybe a time or situation or something that you're aware of and maybe knew how to handle and wanted to spread awareness on that, now is your time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. Your support has been phenomenal. The people that have been here with me, not just on my podcast, my cemetery lives, my readings, everything, my Patreon, anything that I have done, you guys have 100% supported. My moderators, I appreciate you more than you know. You guys, you work your tails off. I'm not going to call you guys out by name, but I love you guys, and I can't even express how much. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to end the podcast right now, but I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm so glad that you made it to the end of this episode. I hope to see you on the next. Much love. I always say at the end of everything, in this family, nobody fights alone. Ohana.